Now, the last has not been heard about the political situation in Edo State. This time, Philip Shaibu secured another victory as the Court of Appeal voided his impeachment and affirmed him as the deputy governor of the state. Well, the judge who delivered the judgment described the impeachment by the State House of Assembly as illegal and unconstitutional. The Appellate Court also added that the Federal High Court in Abuja, which earlier dismissed the Edo Assembly's impeachment, was right to reinstate Shaibu as the deputy governor. Well, let's hear from Shaibu himself.
Again, God has answered this morning for dismissing the appeal filed by Edo House of Assembly. And by the grace of God, all cases against me, because Nigerians and Edo people are with me in prayers, knowing fully well that I'm the oppressed, and I'm the one being intimidated and harassed by anti-democratic forces. I know they will continue to pray for me, and victory will continue to be for us. For today's judgment is victory for democracy, is victory for the judiciary, really. True. Because Edo House of Assembly were the one that purportedly impeached me, and the case today has been dismissed. The appeal is dismissed, and it is dismissed. So I'm happy about it. And this, like I said, is victory for democracy, victory for judiciary, and victory for Nigerians that hate oppression.
Well, the now reinstated Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, speaking there. BKO, let's get your assessment first off on the judgment and the likely implications regarding the relationship between the Edo State Governor and his now reinstated Deputy Governor. Where do you see this heading to?
Yes, Justice Omotosho on July 17 declared null and void Philip Shaibu's impeachment by the Edo State House of Assembly that was evidently simply doing the bidding of the governor. This is an example of a House of Assembly without a spine, an House of Assembly without a mind of its own, but simply doing the bidding of the executive. The framers of our Constitution did not envisage a situation in which an House of Assembly will have what amounts to a golfer-caddy relationship with a governor. You know, the caddy of a golfer is the one who carries his bag, all of his golf clubs, the balls, everything. The boy will be the one carrying it. Golf courses are usually big, some of them having up to 20, 21 holes. The caddy will go around until they are through with practicing or playing the tournament. Is the one who carries the bag. So they've turned themselves to Governor Obaseki's caddy. Because how do you simply, you made up your mind that, look, this person must be impeached. You were in too much of a hurry, and due diligence was not followed. That is what Justice Omotosho ruled upon, that they didn't follow due process. And the law is clear about what you need to do before a person can be validly impeached. And everyone is entitled to his fundamental human right, the right to fair hearing. If you do not get fair hearing on any matter, even if it has to do with what is it called, chieftaincy matter, the courts, even the Federal High Court, can come in. That's why I disagree with those lawyers who kept saying, no, Federal High Court has no jurisdiction on chieftaincy matters. There are no jurisdiction on chieftaincy matters. But Sanusi got judgment from a Federal High Court against Ganduje when he was banished to Toto in Nasarawa State. Once it has to do with the matter of enforcement of someone's rights, the Federal High Court can come in, whether it's a chieftaincy matter or not. It may not now, if there is a substantive matter around maybe how the person was chosen, how he became a traditional ruler, then they are going to back out. But if it's the enforcement of the fundamental rights of the individual that the individual approach them about, they are obligated as a court in our country to delve into the issue. So that is clear. All of those stuff that we were reading, Federal High Court does not have jurisdiction in chieftaincy matters. There are instances where they can exercise jurisdiction. I've given the example, Sanusi, yes. Why didn't Sanusi approach a Kano High Court? Why did he go to a Federal High Court? You know, so these things, you just leave lawyers and their games. You know, some of them have made up their minds that they must first mislead Nigerians, depending on where they stand on a matter. On this matter, the judge was quite clear that due process was not followed in removing him, and it's not the first time. Right. Remember the immediate past deputy governor, the deputy governor to Matawale in Zamfara. That is the son of Nigeria's former spy chief, Aliu Guso's son. He was impeached, but the courts avoided the impeachment because they were in such a hurry. So the impeachment is not known to law. The same way Fayoshe's impeachment back then was not known to law. The Supreme Court threw it aside. So when people call Fayoshe impeach the governor, they don't know what they are talking about because that impeachment was not recognized by law. And that's why he could come back to contest less than 5 years after his impeachment. Ordinarily, if you got impeached, it's like being convicted. You can't come and contest an elective position within 10 years. You know? Well, that's just by way of saying. Now, in this matter, the judge said Philip Shaibu was wrongly impeached. Now, that judgment of the Federal High Court, it has been appealed. There were 3 appeals before the court. The interlocutory injunction, the appeal against the interlocutory order given by Justice Egwatu was withdrawn by the State Council, by the Edo State government. Now, when you withdraw a case, you come before a court to withdraw a case, the court will then officially strike out the matter. That is the process, that is the procedure, that is the structure. When you come before a court to say, okay, I want to discontinue this matter, the court will now officially strike out the matter by itself. That was what happened.
Oh, okay.
The matter of the appeal, the main appeal against the impeachment is on. They've just filed, they've just served the governor with their, what's it called, their claims and all that. The governor's side would, the deputy governor will give its response, like a kind of counter to what they have prepared. That is where they are now. The judgment on the impeachment has not been given.
Right.
The appeal, the judgment in the matter of the appeal of the impeachment has not been given. It's just 3, as I said earlier, 3 appeals were before. On their own, they decided to discontinue the appeal against the interlocutory order given by Justice Egwatu. And when you say you are discontinuing an appeal, the court will now officially strike out that matter so that it wipes the slate clean. It's no longer in its books. That is what happened. But the media has interpreted it in a way that suggested that, oh, the appeal has been decided. No.
It is a case of misrepresentation of fact.
Yes, misrepresentation of the processes of the court. This is what happened. You know, just like even during the Kano saga involving those 2 emirs, some of the pronouncements of the court of the court were deliberately twisted, based sometimes on the limited knowledge that a journalist has.
Available to the reporter at the time.
So, and that's why people always say, okay, wait until you see the certified true copy. Because the certified true copy is not an interpretation of what transpired in the courtroom. It's not an interpretation. It is facts, right, summarized. But our people subject court. That's why you see, aren't you sometimes embarrassed that we are interviewing two lawyers involved in a matter? The interpretation that this lawyer will give will be different to the one that the other lawyer will give. And the journalists will just put mics in their mouths. Agbenosi mic. They will just put mics in their mouth and they will be confusing us. So I'm saying that the matter of impeachment has not ended. So this is something that I believe will go all the way to Supreme Court. I'm very sure to get all the way to. I'll be happy if at the end of the day, Shuaibu gets justice or not again. Thomas Ejen is pursuing that now, and you can see that the Nigerian government will eventually agree to make peace with Onogen. If Onogen, if it is affirmed that it was wrongfully removed, it's not going to come back as CGN, but his image will be intact. His integrity would have been restored.
To an extent, absolutely. So, but in the midst of this, Tunde, first off, we understand, most political, let's say gladiators now, or public office holders, they are always seen in this squabble. We have the case of Rivers, and now we have this in Edo State. But then the major issue here is that they say when two elephants fight, the grass suffers, and this will largely affect governance. So, but what do you make of the situation where political office holders are always at loggerheads and the impact of governance suffers in the process?
Well, I think, first of all, it is the fault of the Constitution. When you look at the history of relationship between governors and their deputies in Nigeria, the only thing that is constitutionally assigned to deputy governors is the chairman of the Boundary Commission. Any other role that the deputy governor is playing is at the discretion or magnanimity of the sitting governor. So the deputy governors, they are more or less like by the way they borrow dating, but they say that they are repeater stations or the major station. They are more or less edging their belt there. They are not performing any assigned role except by the grace of the governor. I could remember that as we speak now, it's only Lagos State that assigned roles to the deputy governor beside being chairman of Boundary Commission. That is, all the deputy governors we have had in Lagos since 1999, they head one particular ministry based on their expertise, based on their area of expertise. So if the Constitution can take care of this, it will remove the burden between governors. For instance, in Nigeria, no governor has ever handed over power to their deputy. Go back since 1999. No governor has ever handed over power. Yes, to their deputy. So the problem we have now is that the Constitution has to be done in such a way that it will clearly say so that is the area of conflict.
Right.
Secondly, is that I think we should have enough. What Shuaibu has done is novel in the sense that we should test the law by appealing against whatever we think is against us. When you test the law, like Jide said, this thing will ultimately end at the Supreme Court. But for some others, they will not test the law. They will just go home quietly. The deputy governor that you can still settle with your boss, so don't fight your boss. So no, that is not the way to deepen democracy.
Right.
Let anybody that is aggrieved test the law, and let governors and their supporters too know that democracy, it takes time to grow. It takes time. It needs patience. So when we don't test the law and we have no patience for democratic principles, because democratic principle entails that you have to respect the rule of law. And when you respect the rule of law, you allow yourself, you give yourself limits. You don't assume a larger-than-life image, like governors behaving like emperors. I just pray that local government chairmen will not replicate what our governors have been doing since 1999. So the most important thing is that let supporters and those people who are holding office know that there's always a limit. We should not circumvent the Constitution. For us to build democracy, we have to have patience. And anybody that is wrongfully removed from office. Like Jide said, our lawmakers too, they swore to protect the law. They swore to be representative of the people. They should not allow themselves to be unnecessarily caged by the overbearing power of the governors.
Right.
So because if the members of the House of Assembly allow themselves to be used, then it has no meaning. So it means that the governors are autocrats by the Constitution. So I think for us to develop democracy, everybody should take care of his own end.
Right.
Everybody whose right has been infringed upon should test the law by going to the court.
Absolutely.
Going to the Supreme Court, up to the Supreme. So let Shuaibu
Testing the law
continue to test the law.